Hello everyone, I hope everything is fine and good with you today. And what I'm going to talk about today is how I made 2 million. And also I suggest you do subscribe to my channel and put the comment below I subscribed, and I will do my best to reply to your comment. And I wanted to explain some about me. There's things that you don't know about my background. And I do have a great interest in acting and auditioning, which I have done on and off for 6 years. And I also have a very strong interest in sales. I have over 10 years experience in inside sales. And I've worked for several companies, and one company in particular was a very small company with only 20 some employees, including the owner. And I have made $2 million in approximately 2.5 years in sales, mostly on the phone. As I mentioned, it is inside sales, and it's mostly on the phone, also by emailing clients as well as some coming in person. And I want to explain to you how that works for inside sales. The best way I suggest for a company to get additional clients is for leads, right? I have been getting a lot of the leads. A lead meaning the potential client inquires either by phone, or they email, or they send an inquiry on the contact page for the company, or depending on the company, they come in person, right? And they have a question before they buy, sometimes several questions, right? So I was getting the leads and processing them. And of course, you need to follow up with a customer. In sales, there is leads, also existing customers, dormant customers, meaning customers that didn't buy in a year, or as an example, it could be 3 years. They didn't buy 5, 8, even 12 years. And there's also cold calling, which is the most difficult in sales to obtain new customers, right? So this particular company again that I was talking about, that I worked for 2.5 years about, that I've made $2 million, I was processing the leads and then following up with them. And what you need to do in order to get $2 million for the company is to be persistent. That's one thing in sales that I've noticed that I do. Even with the leads, you could get a lead that closes on the first call, which I've done, but mostly when a client is buying something and they have questions and it's worth a high dollar amount, they're not going to give you their money right away. So I would follow up with the customer, and of course follow scripts. Scripts helps as well. And as an example, if the customer's name is John and I'm talking to him for the first time, say it's a brand new lead, and I'm calling him back from, say, an email that he sent me, and after the initial call, I follow up with him a couple days later, because during the conversation initially, he had to think about it, and I will ask him, when is the best time to talk again? And if he says in 2 days, what do? I follow up with him in 2 days. You pin them down. This is all ways to make the $2 million, right? If John said for me to call him in a week or in a day, I do that. He told me to call him, as an example, in 2 days, and I ask him, well, when's the best time to talk? As an example, if he says 3 p.m., what do? I call him at 3 p.m. I don't call him at 9 a.m. I don't call him tomorrow at 11 a.m. I listen to what my client is saying, and I do that. Another example, if I'm talking to a client, say John again, another John, just as an example, for the client to follow up with them in a week. If you get what I'm saying, you need to be persistent and consistently follow up with them. I call them in a week if he needs time to think about it. And if he asks me to call him at 10 a.m. in a week, I call him at 10 a.m. Why would I wait until noon hour? Why would I call them at 5 p.m.? And this is what some people don't do. When you call the customer and they're not there the same time that they suggested at 10 a.m., they give up, which I don't do. What I do is call them again. I'll give them another call the same time the next day that he suggested, or another option is give him a call later that day or just before you go. And I don't always like to leave voicemails, but if I'm continually not getting a hold of them, I would leave a voicemail. But I would like to talk to the person directly. So some people, when you call them back and it's the time they suggested, of course they are there and you get a chance to talk to them, and you could close it then. You close the sale on the second call. What I'm trying to say is that there's so many scenarios you could close a deal on the first call, second, third, or fourth, right? But you need to do that, and it's all tracked. You can track it in your computer system if you have that. If not, you could always write it down, right? So that's some of the ways that I've made $2 million. You consistently keep doing that with clients, right? Another thing I suggest is to give the customer deadlines. As an example, if something is expiring in days or a week, and the customer wants you to call back after the couple of days or after that week, it's not that straight and narrow. You don't call him exactly when he says you to. You call him before it expires. You tell him right then and there, but John, we don't have time in so many days or a week. This is expiring, and you tell them the date that's expiring. And of course, you'll get some people that, well, I really don't have enough time. I need more time to think about that. Then it's possible, depending on the product or service, that maybe he'll get it the next time. But you don't leave it at that. You suggest to him that he buys low later than that expiration date. You may even close the deal right then and there, right? I have. And another scenario is that, say, you tell the customer that it's expiring in a couple of days after he told you that he needed a week to think about it. And he'll be like, oh, well, okay, in that case, why don't you give me a call then? He might even say, give me a call back on that day. Or, okay, I need to think about it, I need to talk to someone, why don't you call me tomorrow? And you pin him down for the time. Well, when's the best time to talk then? Tomorrow. And he'll give me a time, and then of course I'll call him back then. And again, same situation what I talked about before. If he doesn't answer his phone, then you can leave a message. However, I would follow up with that client more quickly, right? I know how to use my own judgment. I would follow up with, again, maybe I would call him in an hour, maybe I'd try him again later that day. But because the expiration date is coming up so soon, I would try him several times, right? But I know how to use my own judgment, and it wouldn't be overkill. You don't call somebody 6 times in a day. So that's ways that I've made $2 million, right? $2 million in sales. And I do suggest that if you're a manager or a business owner, you could try some of these yourself, or your employees, your salespeople, to do that too, right? And if you do have any questions concerning this, you could always put it in the comments below. And remember to like this video and thumbs up, right? Bye for now.